Chiefs and the Browns. Chiefs win this game 21-7. Mahomes ends up leaving this game in the fourth quarter due to an ankle injury that, as far as I saw it, week to week. Is that still what they're calling it? I didn't see anything, past that. So it looks like it's a week to week, which is probably a mid to high ankle sprain for Patrick Mahomes, which we have seen him get over before, but always dangerous when there's only 3 games until the playoffs start. Top 5 graded players for the Kansas City Chiefs in this one. Cornerback Trent McDuffie at the very top of the list with a 92.6 overall grade. Safety Brian Cook with a 90.2 right behind him. Defensive tackle Chris Jones an 87.3. Wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins an 80.9. And then safety Jaden Hicks. Big secondary day for the Kansas City Chiefs, a 79.6. Patrick Mahomes in this one, even before he got hurt. This is a tough day at the office. 3 turnover-worthy plays for Mahomes, and I go back and I watched all 3 of them this morning. They're absolutely all 3 turnover-worthy plays, and he just didn't pay for them. 43.8. Great in this one. On Cleveland side of things, edge rusher Myles Garrett with a 90.0. Safety Juan Thornhill with an 83.3. Edge rusher Isaiah McGuire with a 79.7. Wide receiver Jerry Jeudy a 79.2. Defensive tackle Jawan Briggs a 74.1. And then Jameis Winston a 39.9. I'll start with this one because that's really where it begins with the Browns and truly the stat that told the story. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. When it comes to Jameis Winston, well, you absolutely died by the sword because normally you could put up with it because it's like, all right, Jameis Winston will give you the turnover-worthy plays, but he also gives you the big-time throws. He didn't give you the big-time throws in this game. He only gave you the turnover-worthy plays. 41.3 passing grade overall. 3 interceptions, 3 turnover-worthy plays there from Jameis. All 3 of his turnover-worthy plays, I should say, came on first down. And the real stat that told the story here is that 2 out of the 3 came in scoring range. It was when you were on the opposite side of the 50, you were on the other side of the other team's side of the 50. I believe both of them were at least within field goal range, but you're on a drive here. You're getting ready to score some points. And that was the backbreaking part. When I covered Jameis when he was with the Buccaneers and I was a beat reporter down there for Pewter Report, that was always the backbreaking part of Winston. It wasn't necessarily the turnovers. Like, it's the turnovers when you're already in scoring range. Like, you're actively taking points off the board by throwing those turnovers there. And that's just what happened with the Browns yesterday, and they obviously couldn't overcome it. Kevin Stefanski now going into this upcoming week said, we don't know who's going to start for us. We don't know if it's Dorian Thompson-Robinson. We don't know if it's Jameis Winston. We'll see. So it was just an all bad day from Jameis Winston.
And really the whole team, honestly, 6 turnovers. You're probably not going to beat anybody with 6 turnovers, but especially not the Chiefs, right? And you're also talking about a muff punt after they forced a 3-and-out on the Chiefs' first drive of the game. You had a muff punt that led to a Chiefs touchdown. One of Jameis's interceptions was a Nick Chubb drop that he deflected into somebody's hands. Then Chubb had a fumble on the very next drive. Just too many mistakes. It's hard enough to beat the Chiefs and all of the magic and everything they have, but when you have 6 turnovers, you're just not winning a ball game. And honestly, it's a shame too because I thought the Browns' defense actually pretty darn good game. It was just the offensive mistakes put them in such a hole that there's no way they're going to come back from 6 turnovers.
Most impressive, most disappointing? What do you got?
Disappointing, Jameis. I'm just going to throw one more in there because I thought the first interception was actually the most egregious to the deep post in the end zone. He predetermined the hell out of that throw. He decided the second the play was called where he was throwing that ball, and that's exactly
it's
what
called
it was.
Having faith in your guy, Dalton.
Elijah Moore in double coverage.
Having faith in your guy.
That's some blind faith.
You got to believe.
I'm not a blind faith guy. That's some blind faith. And the other one on 10-plus yard throws along with the same theme. 1 for 6 with all 3 turnover-worthy plays. So that was rough. Just couldn't work anything downfield for as much as he wanted to. When he doesn't get to, it's a problem. Most impressive, how about Trent McDuffie? I mean, let's go with another 2022 class corner, right? I mean, maybe that'll just be a theme today.
Yep.
93.2 coverage grade, an interception, 2 more forced incompletions. He'd been struggling the last few weeks, right? I mean, the whole Chiefs defense had been kind of struggling the last few weeks, but to get McDuffie playing back at this level, I know it's the Browns, but it's big time. 10 targets, 5 catches, 8 yards allowed on 10 targets and 5 receptions. That's how good McDuffie can be on any given day, inside, outside, just like we mentioned with Stingley. One of the best corners in football, had a little bit of a cold spell the last 3 or 4 weeks, back on the horse in this game, and the Chiefs defense has to be feeling real confident after this one.
Yeah, McDuffie is my most impressive because he kind of has to be. Just some more stats on that. 82.4 coverage grade when he was in the slot, 13 snaps. 94.1 coverage grade when he was out wide, 21 snaps. So like Stingley, like we talked about with him in the previous game, didn't matter where you lined him up. He was ready to cover whoever was in front of him. So really great game from McDuffie. Only 2 yards allowed when he was lined up as a wide corner, which was 21 out of those. He had 21 out of the 34 coverage snaps that he had. only 2 yards allowed is really impressive. My most disappointing is Patrick Mahomes in this game. Now, obviously, it was a struggle overall, but even before the injury, 19 for 38 passing. He had 2 touchdowns, but no big time throws in this game. 3 turnover-worthy plays, didn't have any interceptions, so you kind of got to look at the turnover-worthy plays to show that. 42.3 passing grade was the third lowest single game passing grade of his career, and so it was just not a good day at the office. And sneaky here, this season, he's got 16 big-time throws, 15 turnover-worthy plays. So he's a lot closer to dead even in how well he is throwing the football deep down the field versus also how he is putting the ball into harm's way. And so, look, the Chiefs are winning games. I know Chiefs fans will be mad at me for this because they're like, hey, we have the best record in football. What gives?
It ain't pretty.
They are... I don't even know if flirting's the right word. Aggressively courting with disaster. I don't know how to say this. I don't know how many more ways the ball could break for the Kansas City Chiefs than it has so far this season for them to have the record that they do. It's hard to think that this brand of football for them, not that they're not capable of playing better, I want to be very clear, but the way they have played football this year, it is hard to imagine they will win, let's say they get the 1 seed. 3 games in a row to get to and win the Super Bowl again in 3P. It's got to be, if they get into the playoffs, from what we have seen so far from Kansas City, it basically has to be the best version of that team that we have seen yet in 2024. Maybe we can see it. Perhaps we will see it. We have seen it before, but man, are they are straight on the line of what could be in a good way and a bad way.
It's ugly. I think the formula is actually what we've seen is that they're just going to try to play elite defense, especially in the secondary, and they're going to have Patrick Mahomes save them in moments. He's been better in big moments this year than he has been consistently throughout games. There have been stretches of games this season where the Chiefs offense does nothing. You're talking, they really do plod along, and just the goal is to get 10 yards at a time, and that's continuing. And they're going to try to make a 3-peat run doing that against explosive teams like the Bills and the Ravens. And if they pull it off, more power to them.
This will be their most impressive Super Bowl if they win one.
I would agree with that. Because it would be almost inexplainable.
Right.
Okay, they're just the Chiefs, and it's just this magical thing that they do to win games.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe the video, and if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you can get one to see all the premium stats that we talked about here on the show, plus the expert betting and fantasy advice over at subscribe.pff.com. The description is also right below, so if you are not a PFF Plus subscriber, you can come one today.